All right. Hi, South Park Church. This is
Hello,
Renee.
and this is Bernie.
I have my special guest here, our worship director, Bernie Gerstmeyer. You usually see him on the front porch. I get to be on the front porch this time. What's it like being in a different area of the house, Bernie?
It's really quiet back here. There's no kids around. There's just a dog laying in a blanket, so it's really nice.
Nice, nice. So I'm actually talking to Bernie on this really cool thing called StreamYard. I just want to give a shout out to our friends from Yeah Comics. Mark and Franco have been doing this on their Facebook feed during this time of isolation to be together with people and to do cool interviews and stuff. And so I just had to give them a shout out. When we saw them do it, we said, hey, we should be doing this. And they gave us the details. So there we go. Yeah, comics. Check them out in Skokie. Check them out online.
So
If you go
we're
to New York, check
so
them out
we're testing it inside the same house.
there. Yes, we are.
They're testing it from different locations, but we're
But
trying in the same house.
exactly, exactly. All right. So if you're joining us right now, you can make some comments and maybe they'll pop up and we can show them on our little stream here. Looks like 13 people are watching right now. So say hey if you are.
Hey,
We're not just here to talk to each other in the same house online. I'm here to ask a few questions for Bernie about what it's been like to worship. And so, what has it been like to worship like to a camera by yourself in a room?
oh, hey, Mike. There's Mike.
Hi,
And there's Shannon. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon. We got your letters. We haven't opened them yet, so thank you for sending us mail. That was really sweet.
Miss you too, Shannon.
So you know what? I'll be honest, it's really kind of weird. Um, and really a little bit more stressful sometimes. Uh, in a church setting, I feel we have our community around us. I'm not thinking so much about the product of worship. When we're in church, I'm thinking about creating worship time and just focusing on God and the church around us. But when I'm in my living room, recording it, that is going to then go to a live stream eventually after Adam mixes it with the other pieces of the worship puzzle. It's really stressful, actually. And there's been multiple like stamping of my foot and walking back and pressing stop and deleting that take and going back and doing that 2 or 3 times. But the more that I've talked about it with Eric and Adam and kind of decompressed, is we need to just not think about that as much and not be so worried about the product of worship, but still treat it the same. And you've given me some really good kind of pointers on that, where it's, showing ourselves grace. And yeah, I missed that chord, or I totally mispronounced that word, or said the same line twice. But to be perfectly honest, I could say the same line twice live in church, reading it off a screen too. So it's not too much different. But
Is
it
it being a perfectionist? Is that where the recording comes in? Like when you're doing a live performance, you expect mistakes maybe to happen, and you can let those go. But when you have the opportunity to fix things as a perfectionist, maybe it's a little difficult to let those go.
Well, and I was talking to Adam Nelson about this, and you were even mentioning this as we were kind of breaking this down with Eric. Is we're very used to, as artists and musicians, looking for the best take. Like, I messed that up, I got to send that again. Or even my students who are musicians are sending me recordings of themselves playing, and they don't want to send me their worst take. They want to send me their best possible take. I need to remove myself from that, and think more about worship is organic, worship is spontaneous, worship is all the time. And that recording needs to be a snapshot of continuous worship and not planned worship, even though we practice and plan going into it. But I think the more my brain goes into that direction, the better off I'm going to be.
So what made you do then worship and prayer on the porch, which we've been doing several times now? I think the next one's tomorrow, 7:30.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Oh, look at the little banner show.
Yeah,
So
fancy stuff here.
I'll be honest, the worship and prayer from the porch, because that started the first Tuesday after the pandemic kind of hit. and we were not doing church live at that point. I think that was the first Sunday. And I'll be honest, I feel like it came a little bit from a heart of selfishness first, because I needed to worship for me. I wanted to play guitar more. I wanted to sing more. I wanted to be just present in that more, because I really missed that connection. Saturday mornings was gone with our worship teams. Sunday for 4 hours is gone. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
But to all of a sudden go from 7 hours of worship time together to I do a 15-minute take and that's it. It was different. So I needed to supplement it from my own heart. And then it became something that other people really paid attention to and wanted to join in that. And then it became, it was going to be a kind of a one-time thing, to be honest, I think at first. And then I went, oh, I kind of felt felt really good. That was therapeutic. I think not just for me, but for others. So, and then it became a 2 times a week sometimes. And a chance to introduce also old songs and new songs that are meaningful now at this time. And songs that I think could be meaningful to people, and even prayers that they should hear. So I love doing it. So it's a point of joy for me, actually.
We have a couple of great comments. Shannon, she's very thankful. It's been a blessing. I'm thinking is where it got cut off there. It's been a blessing for her. And Stephanie's been through a lot of decisions lately, and so I'm just so thankful that she's finding the time to, worship in the background. It's helped Shannon to slow down and center. That's what we missed on the end of that, to slow down and center. So thanks for your comments, you guys. And so when you're not on, we're going to do Facebook worship and prayer on the porch tomorrow, 7:30. But, that's like half an hour of something. So when we've watched all that, like, what are some suggestions for us to continue to worship on our own at home with our families?
Well, it's so interesting. I've talked to students and adults who are at a point where they have things to do, but even folks that are working from home, they have time finally to do things they don't usually get to do. I had one friend and band parent listen to the Porch and go, I play. I actually would love to play guitar more and learn these songs that you're learning. I think if you ever played piano or guitar or any sort of instrument that you can accompany yourself, it's a great time. Something like this where we have more margin of time is to sit down and you can worship that way on your porch. Maybe you're not at a point that you don't want to put it out on Facebook Live, but it's just nice. I mean, while I was doing the Porch last time, there were people I noticed out of my peripherals, people walking by and stopped and listened and then kept walking. And I didn't want to be weird and be like, hey, there's a guy outside my window. But it was just kind of an interesting little moment that they had, and they were just on their walk. And whether that was with or without God, they found a moment to connect and found something interesting that may have formed new questions. So I think that's what we want to be thinking about is what are questions that are forming in how we worship now? Is it, now we're in the digital age. We're not even always watching. If you look at the number of views of our service on Sunday, at the time it's happening is such a smaller number compared to what is happening later. So at the 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 time, people are watching now church in the middle of the afternoon at a time that works for their family, and they're connecting then. So who's to say we can't do that every night? Who's to say we can't listen to music every night and worship? Put it on while you're cooking together. Put it on behind, while we've done that, Renee. We've been eating dinner and you've thrown on a list. Oh, look at that. What a segue, Renee. That's the Spotify playlist that you threw on. And just to hear worship music in the background of conversation, and you stopped and went, ooh, man, I forgot. I love this song. What a great song this is.
Yeah, that playlist we've been building for the last several years, probably 5 or more maybe. And anytime we sing a song at South Park Church, we put the original recording on there.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It brings back a lot of memories of things that were happening at the time that song was maybe sung more often. And it's been cool to sing some of the older stuff on the porch and reconnect with it. And yeah.
Well, I think I did "Whom Shall I Fear," the Chris Tomlin song, and we realized that song is, I think, like, it's amazing that, again, it's 9 years is not a long time, but it's incredible how much has happened in our world, in our church over 9 years. And to go like, oh my gosh, like I remember when we first introduced that song, I remember specific people that came to the church and learned that song with us. Isn't that kind of an interesting thing, how like people's faces and songs can actually connect?
For sure.
I
Yeah.
want to make sure Mike had asked kind of an interesting question.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part about doing the worship on the porch? Funny as it is, Mike, that is one of the easiest things I do. I feel like that, I guess if there was a hard thing, I'm looking through scripture, looking through some prayer books, like what could people grab onto now? What is something that could hit them the same way it's hitting me? I try to connect it to why am I singing this song? What's a scripture that connects to this song? What's a prayer that echoes a lyric in this song? What is my favorite worship song to play? This is like a legit interview now, Renee. This is like,
I know.
this is kind of cool.
This is really fun. I think this was my dream job. I got to start working better at this.
Forget organizational health. Now we just Facebook and StreamYard interviewee. Right now, my favorite worship song to listen to and play is a new one called "The Blessing." It's Carrie Job and Elevation Worship, and it is basically a redo of Benediction. But it also is really cool because the bridge goes through the generations. It goes through, may God have favor on you and your family and your children and your children's children. But it's a powerful song sung in any venue, like me singing it acoustically, the full band. There's a lot of power to the lyrics inside that song, and it's a biblical song. So I love that one right now.
So you were saying, and Mike likes it too. He says, great song. So you were saying that people enjoy, playing at home and worshiping and doing that. So tell us about the cool email that you got. Where I'm going to be sending out an email to the congregation today, but tell us what that's about.
All right. So Praise Charts is a company that we use. There's a number of different groups, but the songs that we play, we have to get licensing and copyright and actual chord charts and piano music for us to use on a Sunday morning. Praise Charts is one of those companies that we use quite a bit because they're transcribed and done by musicians and arrangers who do them true to what the song actually is. We then sometimes change the arrangements, but we trust that those chords are the right chords that match exactly what the artist intended when they were creating that worship song. Praise Charts and the copyright license company came together and said, listen, this is a time where we need to encourage worship everywhere, in people's homes, wherever they can, and in a format that is very, very doable. So what they did was they created song sheets. So they made available to us as worship directors to purchase from them for very, very low cost, collections of 24 songs. And they're organized by the best of 2020, 2 versions of modern worship songs, and then one 24 song sheet of what they consider contemporary. So maybe older, like 10 to 15, 20 years of the first younger contemporary songs. And they're done in very singable keys and very playable keys for people that play piano or guitar. They put condensed versions, 3 on a sheet. So what I did was I purchased all 4 of them. And the nice thing is, the reason I brought up the copyright license is that they got permission for us as directors to share it with our church family. So Renee is going to be sending out an email to the entire church that has all 4 PDFs. So you're going to have access to 96 different songs from everywhere from the late 90s, early 2000s to what we sing currently in our church in keys that are very singable. So if you're a musician, you can try that out. You'll even just to have the lyrics in front of you, you can do that. And if you're a good enough musician, you can also transpose them into different keys for fun. But these are really, really accessible songs for people that want to worship from home.
That's awesome, Bernie. Thanks for sharing that with us, and I'll make sure to get that out sometime later today. We have a couple of questions, so if we're only here a couple more minutes, but if you have questions for Bernie, go ahead and type them in the comments. Taryn is saying hi to us. Enjoy. So hi, guys. It's good to you're watching. Shannon's question: if you weren't a band director, what would you be doing? Are you going to go back to our very first comment that I said about our friends at the comic book store?
Probably. I'll be honest. I mean, when I was, we always talk about those funny, like, what are you going to do after you retire kind of conversations. And I would love to be working in something in the comic book or pop culture comic industry, whether it be in like working in a store, working in a publishing company. And I think the biggest thing for me is connecting with the people. Everything okay with there? It got really scratchy. Did you hear that?
Yeah, no, we're good. But
okay.
I was gonna kind of segue with you about that. There's something about the comic book community.
Yeah.
That is a lot like a church community.
It's very, very true. I will tell you that, like, I enjoy introverted parts of my personality, and I'm very extroverted also. But some of my most relaxing time is actually spending time at a show of about 100,000 people, walking a convention floor and talking to people that are at pop culture.
Oh yeah, you're getting a little goofy.
I'm getting like a real weird scratchy. I don't know if can any of you out there hear that by any chance?
You're better now.
All right. So yeah, I love that community of people. They are good-hearted people that, while some might know who Jesus is, there are a lot of people that are totally solid people that help each other, connect to each other. They want to know about you. They want to know where you're from. They want to make sure you're okay. They got a great heart. But yeah, I love that community. I would love to work in a comic book store after I'm done worship directing and teaching band.
I'm all for it. I like it too.
Oh.
I just want to post this from Holly. She said that she's just so thankful for the worship. So I just wanted to make sure you saw that, and I'm sure other people
well, thank you.
So, Holly, thanks for joining us, your whole family joining us. And thanks for all that your family does to help the body of Christ at South Park Church and beyond. That's super cool. Okay, so people are saying it's starting to sound staticky and scratchy, so we're gonna let you go for now. But cool. Now that we know, I actually tried to do this with Bernie first, because if it totally messed up, then I would only mess up with Bernie, and he loves me, so I'm okay with that. But we have a few more planned interviews the next few days. We want to talk to Jesse about the care that's happening during this time and what to do if you need some care. We're going to talk to Hillary about the Easter egg hunt that you might have heard of on Sunday. And we're going to even maybe talk to some of our staff that you don't always see in the forefront. So if you get a call from someone, if you get a text from someone, and you're not quite sure who that is, you'll get to know them a little bit through these. So Bernie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Renee. I'll see you in 30 seconds. What was that?
Thanks for joining us from the opposite side of our house.
Oh, sure. And I'll walk forward and see you in 30 seconds.
Okay, that sounds great. And we'll see the rest of you guys all very soon.
All right, bye. Have a good day.
Bye.